Abyssal, do you hear the music? Do you like it? Super in theme with our game. We are here with Dr. Ian Hathaway, PhD, um, Renaissance man extraordinaire, and aside from being the co-author and the translator of our manual, he's a great friend. So, right now they're saying the music is fantastic. This makes me extremely happy. Hi, Neaton. Hi, Giacomo. Hi, everyone. Hi, Aristide. This is the time to ask Ian questions or to let him speak because I could just hear him for hours. So, Ian, is there any fun anecdote you wish to tell us about the game? Something interesting before the questions start coming in?
Oh man, yeah. Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me again on the channel. I'm
It's a
really
pleasure.
excited.
It's a pleasure.
Last time we had a ton of fun, and so
We did.
this time we're playing a game that I am in the process of writing because the game is right now on crowdfunding on Kickstarter, and we have worked a lot on it already, but there's still a lot of work to do. It is a fifth edition setting. Uh, which then relies on the core mechanics from the most famous role playing game in the world. But we are bringing a ton of new, I think, super exciting mechanics and themes. Most notably because this game is based on the travels of Marco Polo, the famous Venetian medieval merchant. So we're bringing a lot of new, exciting stuff thanks to sort of putting into game mechanics the travels of Marco Polo, but also a lot of exciting lore from China and from medieval China. We're working from several sources in translation, which we have sort of been directed to and are discussing with our consultants in China for this project, which is a super incredibly exciting process of getting to learn more about corner of the world, but enough to render justice to 3,000 years of incredible folklore and cultural history. So it's yeah, our setting is as I mentioned, it is based in a semi-historical fantasy version of the Silk Road, and we set forth on a premise that the things that Marco Polo told us in his book are true. Repeatedly in his Million and his travels, as it's called in English, he says, and I saw these incredible feats of magic at the court of the Khan. The Khan sits 8 cubits up on top of all cups fly to him so he can drink. And tens of thousands of people had witnessed this, so it is certainly true. And I've seen so many other incredible feats of magic, but I'm not going to tell you about them because you wouldn't believe me. This is what Marco Polo tells us multiple times in his book. And so we are kind of exploring that springboard to go into a fantasy version of the Silk Road, which is still rooted in history and in the culture and traditions of the peoples who populated it, but in which creatures of folk tales and of nightmares even are in fact real. And within the setting, you play as a member of an ancient Chinese organization, of which Marco Polo was also part. He became part of it in our lore when he was in China. And the Brotherhood of Guardian Merchants, it is called, who follow the principle of just exchange and whose goal is to oversee the magical balance of the Silk Road. And as merchants, they also make sure that magical artifacts from across East and West find their way to their rightful owners and stay out of the hands of many of the very evil organizations that, of course, populate and contrast our merchants in their toils. So this is a very brief overview of the setting, and I'd love to know if anybody has any questions or thoughts. I have just
So
had
we
such
were
incredible.
we were saying behind the scenes that the biggest difference that Marco Polo's Legacy does as a manual is that here the fantasy is the spice and not the substance, because it's so well rooted in culture thanks to Ian's expertise, true expertise, and as players, can I say it has a whole other flavor, a level of depth that I mean, we played, me and the other players, we played D&D for too many years to to, to want to say without feeling any embarrassment, but this felt very new. This felt like it was an entirely different system. They've introduced some mechanics that are brilliant. And why don't you tell us about that? Why don't you tell us about the Ars Mercatoria, Ian?
Sure. So this is the main new mechanic that we're bringing to 5th edition. The Ars Mercatoria, or Art Merchant. Well, you play as Guardian Merchants. You play as people whose cover and whose basic training is in the mercantile arts. So you are very good at negotiating and at managing that process of reaching a just exchange through which different parties have this in the game. We wanted to have a lot of chances to interact with non-player characters and also with creatures, with sort of the more intelligent creatures of the Silk Road. There are many, many, from, of course, foxes to dragons, and just to name the most famous ones lore-wise. We wanted ways to interact and compete with these characters in our world without necessarily resorting to violence or to combat. And so our Ars Mercatoria really is a sort of duel of words in which both factions compete with multiple to each other, and you need to gain 3 negotiation points to win the challenge of Ars Mercatoria. In doing this, though, you have to be very clever because every round the 2 teams choose which skill they are going to put into play, and some skills will beat or rather have advantage over other skills, which means, let me give you an example just by, if you decide that your faction is going to use deception and I decide to use insight, my insight actually cuts through your deception, which gives me advantage on the roll. So I roll 2d20 and choose the best one, and you only won 1d20 to see who wins that particular contest. And besides this, each character and many opponents have several different special abilities that they can put into play during, which are specially designed for this process. So I'm looking forward to see what happens during our Ars Mercatoria challenges in our session tonight. We'll see.
Hi, guys, do you have any questions since you're starting to be wow, there's a hype train. They started a freaking hype train. Thank you, you guys. Really appreciating this. Do you have any questions? Why you were telling me something about drinking Chinese things?
Well, yes. But I would rather actually keep that a bit of a surprise.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
say that you will encounter someone for whom wine is extremely important in the next few minutes, but I want it to be a surprise.
All right, all right, all right. Guys, so today we are launching today the Kickstarter for the manual. So you will be seeing for the truly first time this game played live. This is el estreno, the premiere. I jumped on this hype train because one of the characters for this adventure, among her languages, was Persian Farsi, which is one of the languages I speak a bit of, and I said, "Oh, this is it. This is my moment," and I couldn't wait to do it. So of course, I brought in 2 other friends. Today, behind the scenes, we realized that none of us live in Italy, which is hysterical. So it's going to be a very, very culturally intense type of live with a lot of different corners of the world coming together with this wonderful, culturally enriched manual. Can you tell us, Ian, where did the whole, inspiration come from? Why did you decide Marco Polo, it's all true, and we're just gonna do a 5th edition manual from it?
So I think it really came from a lot of different angles. It came at us from different angles. We couldn't resist it. We were laid low by the onslaught of this project. The original thought had to do with the fact that last year, 2024, which is the year in which we started working on this project, That was the 700th anniversary of Marco Polo's death in Venice in 1324. And so we had the idea it would be really interesting to try to make something based on the adventures of this incredible merchant and traveler. So that was the first step, and this fit very well with the general way of producing games of Acheron Games, with whom I've published other works too, and I collaborate on other projects. But they have several times, for example, with Dante's Inferno, they have taken a classic of Italian literature and adapted it to a fantasy D&D setting. So they had a lot of know-how and the interest in sort of using this kind of process again on Marco Polo. Other things, and start working with Chinue Xiao, who is our consultant in China, who is an amazing individual who just knows everything about the folklore and the fantasy imaginary landscape. With him, he's also also produces games in China, and the combination of our expertise in history. I'm a historian by training. The idea convinced a lot of people, and we started working on it, I think. And step by step, it's just we realized that we really didn't have to invent much in terms of finding inspiration for the 12 subclasses that we needed to put in this game for each of the D&D traditional classes. You know, we have the Karaunas, who Nilüfer, who you are playing, is actually they are people that Marco Polo describes, these bandits who were able to summon darkness to attack caravans. He says that they did this. What was he talking about? Probably a sandstorm, likely. And these bandits were very, able to read the movements of the sands across the desert, and so they knew when to strike. But in his book, he writes that they were able to summon darkness. And so our entire rogue archetype is based over this idea, the Shadow Master Karaunas. And the same is true for essentially every other class that we. Not all of them are based directly on Marco Polo, but all of them are based on a combination of historical and folkloric kind of intersection. And once I started seeing that would actually work, everything kind of got. I'm not going to say easy, because we care about the accuracy, we care about the cultural sensitivity and the right representation of the peoples and cultures that we are talking about. We care about this stuff a lot, and it's still there's still a lot of work to do, but it's at some point I just realized it was going to work.
I think it's great how we've done almost like 360, as in D&D starts with things that are realistic. They put magic in them, and they create the classes, and they put all this, these myths, these fantastical elements into it. And now you've gone full circle by reintegrating that fantasy element back into reality, almost, by taking things that actually were recounted historically, and creating that link that brings us full circle with D&D. And I was wondering, since it's so deeply cultural as a work, do you think that we could metaphorically learn something from Marco Polo, from all of this?
I think definitely. It's not a game. It is a game that is meant to be a game, and it's meant to be exciting and kind of super-powered D&D fantasy at its core, because that is how D&D is designed. However, the attention to details, to the historical details that we put in the game, and to the folklore-based details is, to the best of our ability, essentially. And so, why not? I think you might go away having learned something, or a player might go away and having learned something. Just the fact that Marco Polo talks about the Karaunas and the fact that they were bandits, etc. I work on a very wide spectrum of games that go from specifically educational games that we use in schools or universities, and Marco Polo's legacy, that's not the objective of it. But as with other projects that I work on, like Lex Arcana, which is based on a late Roman Empire fantasy setting, we care a lot about providing the right picture, doing the research, and trying to transform that into something exciting. And it already is exciting because the past is cool and scary and all the things that you need for an exciting game.
I'm so happy that you're doing this, mainly because your publishing company in Italy, they're very famous. So for my international community, okay, as I've been telling you in these past few days, I would be bringing Italian RPGs in English on here, on TikTok and on Twitch, so that you can actually see how much nerd culture is truly universal in the globe, and the Italian take to it. This is the same publishing company that made the Spaghetti Fantasy manuals, and here we have this little jewel of Marco Polo's legacy, of which the Kickstarter is starting today. This is truly an insight on how other cultures do cultures, especially if you're in the States. We all know the recent shenanigans on TikTok. You have access to things aside from social media, and some of these games are one such gateway to culture. So if you want to see something cool, I highly suggest you check out the Kickstarter campaign on this, because it is amazing. Actually, I will copy paste the link in a second in the chat so you can go and check it out. They're asking questions on TikTok, so allow me to please present you some questions. How much of the manual's story is how much of the manual is story based, and how much is pure inspiration and fantasy? From Master Parzo, this is a dungeon master, so interesting question.
So, let's say the full package of the two manuals. There are two books. One is the, let's say, setting / adventure book, and the second one is the monster manual. And the setting book also has all of the technical parts that you would expect in a 5th edition expansion, which means that it has the new rules, which some of which I talked about briefly, and then it has the 12 archetypes. It has 8 new backgrounds, and actually we have just unlocked, I saw this before we went live, we unlocked a new background, which is the monkey blood, meaning someone who is descendant from these there are many stories in Chinese folklore about humanoid apes with particular powers, etc. And some of these have found their ways into very, very famous pieces of culture, such as Journey to the West, which is one of the most beloved Chinese epic romances. So the tale of Sun Wukong, to understand it. And we will have a background in our game which is connected to a character who is descendant from the bloodline of these I managed to unlock forward. So anyway, that was a bit of a detour. We have all the technical part, and the second part of this book is it is an adventure which guides us through a bunch of different locations, story hooks, narrative inspiration, writing, not descriptive. I can't think what the right word is in English, actually, but narrative writing to set the mood, etc. And this will lead you through a long campaign, which we're trying to see exactly how long we can make it. This is one of the parts we're still working on of the project. But this is book 1, and book 2 is monsters and special objects. All of these are deeply rooted in the various lores, mainly Chinese, but not only.
Yes.
And as in other Acheron products, they don't just have the stat blocks, they also have a rather developed adventure hooks to put them into play.
Fantastic. Do we have any other questions? Because you're giving a lot of likes, you're giving a lot of love. Question about the semi-historical part of the lore. Which place has religion in the setting? Also, considering that the Templars are involved in the manual.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking what role religion plays within this lore.
So, religion was obviously important in many different ways to practically all to us, though it is in the background, in the sense that religious figures, you play as members of this particular brotherhood, and your character archetypes exist within the confines of this brotherhood, meaning the Templars, for example. The game is set in 1325, I believe that's the exact year, which is after the destruction of the Templar Order. And the Templars that have survived have been found, some of them have been found by Marco Polo and have been sent east as a way to save them and as a way to help them join the Brotherhood of Guardian Merchants, fight against the main peril that is arising in this across the Silk Road, which consists of the villains of our setting, which are four ancient Chinese demons. And the way Marco Polo sees this and the way the Templars see it this is a way of finding redemption for a order whose past was both light and shadow, who were both pious but also bloodthirsty in some occasions, at least, although the history of the Templars is extremely complex. So we are trying to treat these elements with nuance, but also in terms of player characters, we are creating a specific fictional space, which is the Brotherhood, in which their different stories can coexist. And in terms of religion, we are sort of extending some of the things that Marco Polo says, which is the fact that at the court of the Khan, all religions were welcome, and wise men of different religions, different cultures debated each other. This is in some ways a rather idyllic vision of something that partially did really happen during the period. It wasn't so creating a world in which differences exist and coexist, partially perhaps because they are facing supernatural perils that in our world we didn't have to face. So I hope that answers your question.
I think that was super interesting and exhaustive. So I think we've had already a lot of people join enough. Why don't we introduce you to the other players so that we can continue perhaps this chat if you have any more questions, even after the game if you want, or if it's something super relevant even as we're showing you the game system. So without any further ado, allow me to introduce to our lively live Misters Filippo Bertozzo, also known as Dice and Dinosaur. So you will be seeing throughout our live, when we are not rolling our dice, some excerpts from the manual, but the artistic type of excerpts, so not the written ones. The art is amazing, and many artists I saw from the credits have contributed to this manual. It is a beautiful object. I cannot wait to have the physical copy in my hands. If you'll allow me to, guys, gentlemen, as you introduce yourselves, I will close my window and I will be right back so that we can roleplay to a Heart's Desire.
So we have to speak, I think. Maybe. Haha, we control the channel. So, hello everybody, my name is Filippo. I'm a paleontologist here in Brussels, and I also have a bit of experience in martial arts. So I might be able to play a bit this guy. I try. Even though he plays Chinese martial arts, I play Japanese martial arts. So, well, better to say I train in yes, better. It's a better verb.
Hello, chat. I am Mirko. In my real life, I am a scientist, you would say, and I'm Italian, as the majority of the people playing. But tonight, for you, I will be particularly French, as Caroline said. No, you will love hating me. And thanks for joining us tonight, and thank you, Ian, for the great work. The little preview us three had looks amazing. I will be honest. I've been playing D&D for years, and it's chef kiss.
So Dungeon Master, take it away. The floor is yours.
All right. So, as we mentioned, and now we will make our audience part of this, you are three expert agents of the Brotherhood of Guardian Merchants. I'm going to ask you to describe yourselves in just a second. You are traveling and have been traveling for some time, tasked with a very delicate mission. So, you are tasked with finding a man called Shangao. Why do you need to find this guy? Well, he is member of a martial sect called the Thunder Tigers, who worship one of your ancient rival, the great tiger Chongqi. And, but he has, as far as your intelligent states, gone rogue. He is somewhat of, let's say, middle management within this martial sect, and he stole something very important. You believe some kind of relic that the sect was guarding, and disappeared. Half the Silk Road is after him now, because having removed this object from the protection of his sect, there's a chance to get your hands on it. And for you, this is an incredible opportunity for your organization to sort of take this object out of the hands of very, very dangerous people and try to either protect it, or you don't know what it is, or see that it finds its way back to its rightful owner. So you find yourselves somewhere along the desert of Lob, which is how Marco Polo calls the Gobi Desert. You are, because imagine geography, so to say, that on real geography, but you are traveling along the desert in a rather desolated land where rocky ridges meet the desert below, and over on toward the east, you actually see some of the grass desert of Inner Mongolia. The road that you are walking along leads towards what Marco Polo calls Etsina, which is also known as Karakorum, a very important city which was later destroyed actually by the Ming Empire. And we're going towards a caravanserai. I'll explain in a second what that is, called the Flaming Tortoise. And for the last week, you have had to do so evading patrols of bandits who have been clearly, your expertise suggests this, clearly positioned along the road to stop people from moving north. This is actually part of a longer adventure that you can find on the quick start. We are playing sort of the second act of it, where you've already reached or close to the caravanserai, and we can imagine your characters walking down this windy road. You see the structure of the caravanserai below you. Behind the building, which is a square building with a large courtyard in the middle. Behind this building, you see a tall, rocky cliff, and then behind that, the desert. A caravanserai is a way station, a place where merchants can stop for the night. And these types of buildings, they all look more or less similar, although there are regional variations. They're sort of square buildings with a courtyard inside, 1 or 2 stories with kind of domed cupolas along its sides. You are familiar with them from across the Silk Road, right? They start in Anatolia and Egypt and go all the way to China. You see the building down below, and you have perhaps another 20 minutes or so if you take the most direct route to get to it along this rocky path. And I would like to, at this point, ask you to introduce your characters and tell us something about who you are. And I will call on Nilufer first.
Assalamu alaikum, Aziza. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Nilufer of Samarkand, and I think that's all you need to know about myself for right now. I come, of course, from the Karaunas, and that is how we've entered the trade of merchants along the Silk Road. But I think you do not want to pry into the life of a rogue. You do not. Masters of shadows, indeed. Let's instead look somewhere else, like at our monk.
Some secrets are best left unspoken.
Khob.
DM.
Zhao Ying, I was just introducing you. Take it away.
Hello there. My name is Zhao, and I'm your, how can I say, your best possibility to move forward in the safest way possible. Together we will have a fantastic feast together and a fantastic fight together. But we will end up with some smiles, some laugh, some meats, maybe some alcohol. Unfortunately, no women, but still some fight. So, let's have fun together.
It's better to survive than to have fun, my dear, but sure, sure.
I was just breaking the fourth wall, my dear.
What wall? There are no walls here. We're in the Gobi Desert, as
Because
is,
because I already put it out with
And last but
my
not least,
fist.
sorry.
last but not least, I'm sorry. The voice in the sky is talking, Zhao Ying. Let it speak, please.
Last but not least, says the voice in the sky. As our camera pans towards a large, large Frenchman.
Well, the camera sees Almaric Duver, Knights, French, Knights Templar, very French, and one of the biggest men of the caravan, warrior in his 50s. That's so the fall of the Templars in the Middle East, the fall again of the Templar in France, and now is joining this caravan of people definitely below his status, hoping to find something fun to do because the food is definitely not of his taste, the alcohol is barely bearable, and the women even less. So I will say that that's all you need to know about Almaric.
Junam, have you ever taken into consideration that in all your misfortunes, the common factor is yourself?
No.
Well spoken, like a true barbarous man. Hoba, voice in the sky, where are we headed?
Well, you see the caravanserai, the flaming tortoise down below you. What would you like to do?
I would like to observe. I do not speak for these other two incautious men.
I think that Almaric, more than scouting forward, is staying on the back of our caravan to avoid unpleasant ambushes. So I'm more on the guard behind us than on the front.
Zhao, very calmly, arms inside the sleeves with a very gentle smile, walks in front just to meet people, just to see if there is something interesting happen, just to see if there is something nice to try, and see how's the mood around, because a good caravan is also a good place to stay.
Perfect. So, just to mention this and to be clear, the three of you are now traveling by yourself. You were part of a larger group, but you have had to let it to abandon it to not put it in danger. Otherwise, there would have been no way to get through these groups of bandits that I met.
Zhao, the Frenchman is drinking so much again, he thinks he's on a caravan. Please do something about it.
Me?
You're big enough.
Okay. I go to the caravan.
No caravan is too small. As you make your way down to the sarai, Nilufer, could you make a perception roll?
Thank you very much. I certainly will. So, just like our good old D&D, I can't find roll 20. There you go. We're going to roll D20, and what is my wisdom? +2, perception +4. There was an error with your formula. Please try again.
That's a weird roll.
It was. Ooh, crit!
Ooh!
Crit. We're starting very well today. This is the fortune of the Persians, my friend. Not like the Frenchman.
Yikes. Okay. So, as you make your way down, you mentioned that you are keeping your eyes open and taking in the surroundings, etc. and several things become apparent. And then, since you critted, I would ask you if you want to ask me more questions. I can tell you something more even.
I would, yes. I want to know more about this caravan. Is there any weak spots somewhere where I can summon the darkness, as you very well said that my Karaunas could, and sneak in perhaps? An inside job.
So the caravan palace, which is down below you,
Yes.
you can actually see some people moving about. You can see them now and then in the courtyard, and you can see them around. You are extremely quick at realizing that there don't seem to be enough people. The amount of people that you see are not what you would expect to in one of these last way stations before 30 days of trek in the desert, basically, to reach the next city. The second thing that you notice is that there are, in some cases, hidden, but not because they were hidden, just because time has passed. You see definitely, and this happens more and more as you get close to the building. You notice more and more signs of conflict of some kind. For example, you see a broken stirrup, or arrow shaft, or maybe a piece of cloth that might have been torn.
So does it look like the
from a padded
conflict
armor.
is past, or is it ongoing?
It seems like the conflict is past,
Okay.
but it seems like there was a conflict around this building that you were heading towards. Exactly. So anything else you would like to know specifically?
You said before that the amount of people that are there is not the amount that I'm expecting. Are they more or less than I'm expecting?
They are less.
Okay.
And since you're focusing on the people, I can tell you one last thing, which is that you do notice several armed individuals outside standing guard. They are armed in a way that you would expect a caravan guard to be armed. Some pieces of lamellar armor, padded cloth, etc. Spears. They don't seem to be part of any specific faction. They just look like guards to you. And that's that. What would you like to do now with this information?
I would very much like to know where they're from, actually. What language they're speaking. What do they look like?
Well, to know that, you'll need to get a little bit closer.
And dear voice in the sky, I would like to roll a sneak. So if I may get sneaky close to our friends there to observe. My dexterity is +3. I rolled an 18, and also, do we have a sneak? We do not. In this.
Yes, it's stealth.
Where is it?
Stealth.
There you go.
Dexterity.
+7 stealth. I rolled a 25, my dear voice in the sky.
25. Okay, so in this, in the way we're building our adventure, we often use the possibility to get extra information or extra result if you roll 5 or more above the target number. What was your goal exactly?
My goal was to approach without being seen and try to get close enough to find an entry point that is safe enough to also escape from.
Okay. Yeah, so I think with that roll, both these things are possible. You slide down kind of a very steep ravine and circle about the compound, and you get close to one of the walls where you notice that the building itself has signs of attack on it, and the windows are very small. There's no glass or anything. They are just there's a little column in between, but you couldn't exactly climb through it, but you can definitely find the roof, and then that way get into the courtyard.
You
The
clipped
languages
you
that you hear
clipped
spoken,
you clipped you can definitely from the window.
you can definitely use the the window to pivot up and jump
Fantastic,
onto
fantastic.
the
The
roof
roof.
without much difficulty. You find a place where it would be very easy, also because there are some broken tiles that would give you perfect purchase. You hear spoken several languages, kind of the languages that you would expect. So there is a lot of Mongolian. You hear some Chinese with different accents. You hear a couple people speaking in Persian and perhaps even Arabic. So Turkic. So there are kind of a lot of languages spoken, as you would expect in a place like this.
Cool.
You are listening to the conversation of merchants, though.
I listening to the conversation. Are they talking about the recent attack?
You hear specifically as you're close to the window. You hear a rather strong voice speaking in Mongolian who says, a woman's voice actually, who says, "Well, it's about midday. We don't have all day. We better start patching things up. Night comes quickly."
Do I surmise from this that they're leaving this or they're going to bed and shutting?
No, you surmise and you notice that they're actually trying to somehow
Like
reinforce / barricade
lock
certain
themselves in.
sections. You lock themselves in, exactly.
So I signal to my two comrades to come closer because time is of the essence if we want to get in before, like, while we still can. And I very, like, knowing I'm going to be disappointed, I do this to tell them to please be quiet. But the Frenchman, oh, the Frenchman.
When I see the sign, I turn to Zhao and ask, "What shouting? What is Nilo River saying? I don't understand. She's saying to come in. My hands is patently on my axe.
Yeah.
Huh? We are coming, Nilo, and I start going down.
I'm following him very calmly.
Big voice in the sky, why did you put me with these two comrades? Why these two
Well,
companions?
Nilufer, as you are so used to, you hear the clanking of metal of Amalric's there's a bit of commotion where they start saying, someone is coming, call Yesugen, call, and sort of you coming down the path, see the
Amari.
guards
At that point,
worriedly
I use
approaching
them
you.
as a distraction. I let the guards go to them. I let them make as much noise as they can while I sneak in and leave the trouble and the scene to them.
Amaric, my friend, please let me go first. I might be a bit of a help here since I know the language.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry. If everything goes well, I might be able to offer you something to drink later.
Promises. Go first. See what's all this commotion is about. Even if I am dumb, but I'm not stupid. If the guard are coming towards us, I would like to understand if they are aggressive or scared about what is coming.
I think you don't really even need to roll that. They are very scared.
Ah,
And
okay. Good to know.
particularly, they're a bit terrified of you, who are sort of a 6-foot red-haired Frenchman. But they are wary. Like, they're tough people, but they are wary and even frightened.
So
Who
I'm
are
not
you,
going to
Paul
talk.
Barks?
I'm not going to talk. I'm letting Zhao do the talking. I just stay behind him very menacingly.
Hello there.
So, somewhat taken aback by your jovial approach, one of the men even kind of takes in your outfit and cups his hands and, "Who are you, monk?"
Oh,
His
we are
voice has softened. He's not. He's sort of trying to be polite, but is still scared.
travelers walking along the road.
How have you made it till here? We have sent out people. None have come back. The bandits.
We are strong, we are wise, and we know our way through the road. There's no need to be tense or scared about my friend here. My friend here can use his nice sword only to those that seek harms. Do you seek harm?
No, sir, we seek no harm, but harm has come to us. How do I know you are not with the bandits? He says. And I would ask you for, yeah.
No, I literally put my arms like that. Say,
Ah,
check us. We intend no harm.
okay. Would you roll persuasion? And this is a mechanic that is particular to Marco Polo's legacy. You could call upon your astral influence. If
Oh
you
yeah,
want.
Kindness.
yeah. No, wait.
Your
No, wait. No,
kindness.
this is only one time.
It is only one time, yes. So
Um,
the characters in Marco Polo's legacy are star chosen, which means that the influences of the planets and the stars and the constellations are particularly strong in them. They have two astral influences that come from their year sign and their month sign. Zhao Ying, for example,
I am a fish, therefore unkind.
Fish. Pisces.
exactly.
I-
Pisces.
I am a fish.
I know. It's just that I
Somebody
always
please
hate.
clip I am a fish, therefore I am kind.
No,
Please
I
clip
no,
it.
no. I didn't do wrong. I just hate the word pishes. I
Pisces.
hate it.
Pisces.
Whatever. I just
Yes.
hate it. I
Les
hate it.
poissons, les poissons.
Of course, the
I
French one.
only hate it. I know it was wrong. It's just that I hate it. I never. I can't.
Are you done?
All right, so you are fish, not Pisces. But the astral influence associated with Pisces is kindness, which means that when Zhao Ying acts, can only do once per long rest, though. So he's
Yeah.
perhaps choosing.
No, no, it's okay. I'll just do straight roll.
Okay.
12.
12. So the people are very frightened and they don't really want to engage with you. And you see them teetering in the sense that 12 is enough to not have them attack, but not quite enough, I would say, to calm them entirely. And what happens to them is that another voice arrives from behind. And we haven't even figured out what happened to Nilufer, by the way. We'll see. But you hear the voice that Nilufer heard before, the woman's voice, who says, "Hold, hold." And towards you strides this a woman who is dressed in the clothing of a Mongolian rider, actually, not in armor, but she has a bow and has like thick riding tunic. Her hair she has like a coif on tied behind, almost like a bandana to give you the idea. And she comes close and says to the man, clearly the man is clearly a monk. He is clearly to be treated with respect, and she bows more deeply.
And I bow in response.
You keep strange company, monk, but I am sure that your wisdom, your wiseness, I would say, your wisdom will be of great comfort to us in our hour of need.
My lady, it is indeed a strange times. Strange times seek for strange companies.
Quite so.
Is this conversation taking place in Mongolian or in
I
which
think-
language? So just to be sure to know when I am insulted.
She's speaking Mongolian.
Okay,
I'm
so
replying in Mongolian, so I don't think you're going to understand.
I do.
but-
I actually do. I do speak
Ah.
Mongolian.
Okay.
It doesn't say you speak it well, though.
I speak.
She nods then. Nilufer, what have you been
Nilüfer is, of course, using them as a distraction to see if there's anything worth taking inside. So inside of Marco Polo's character sheet, it also gives you an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. And in my case, the character flaw, my dear audience, is if you think you can get your hands on some treasure, you'll do anything to get your companions to follow you. Well, they are following me into trouble, but they're being a distraction, so now I'm just checking for the loot. And
Okay,
also trying to find
so
out what happened. Is it just random bandits that attack them, or is it more something systemic, or
So, considering the situation with this commotion happening in the front door, I think you can climb up on the roof without any problem, and you can look inside and you can even lower yourself inside of the courtyard. And there are colonnades on the four sides of the building, and beyond the colonnades, there is a walkway and beyond normally and on 2 stories even, where normally people and goods would be put to rest. So there are less people here than you would expect, but there are still dozens of people in this space, and you kind of manage to find the exact moment to slip behind the shadows of a column and look around. The people inside, especially because they can hear the commotion from the front door, are scared, and they seem to be kind of a ragtag band of individuals in the sense that you see folks from many different regions of the Silk Road, but also they don't seem to be one cohesive group. It's like several groups have come together. And a lot of their goods, there are very few goods, in fact. You do see, you would need to explore more in detail. Your first glance shows that there are some storerooms,
oh, there are.
some of the,
But does
yes,
but
some
does
of
it look
the,
like? I mean, it's their bare necessities, or is it something actually goldish?
well, you're going to need to start exploring the space a little bit more if you want to figure that out.
So, my dear Nilüfer, also she's influenced by courage. She's a tiger, her celestial sign. Due to the fact that these are a ragtag group of people, they do not all know each other because they're different groups. I actually start walking normally amongst them, as they would be enough as to not know all of them and their different groups. I'm just one of the other people in these ragtag groups. I just walk normally and as surreptitiously as I can, I am going to check something that looks interesting in the storm rooms, in the storage rooms.
Okay, okay. Could you please
Do a
give
deception.
me- Deception is better for you, actually.
So what do you use? Performance or deception?
But the deception is fine. Yeah.
12, however, my deception is +4, so 16.
12.
And you know what? I am going
okay.
to use my celestial influence, my courage as a tiger, like the faccia di bronzo, the bronze face, we would say in Italian, to just be like, yes, what? This is normal.
Okay, see, you can try to roll again there if you want.
Oh, so okay, so this is cool. It gives me advantage for enrolling.
It gives you advantage.
I think
I
will keep my 16.
I'm gonna say, hang on. I will be kind also, and you don't need to waste it because 15 was enough to beat this. The people are distracted. You won't be able to keep this up for long, but you are able to walk around a bit, especially because a group of people, and you can entrance, and some of them are getting weapons, etc. Some of them are. This is happening while the conversation outside is still ongoing, and you make your way around. You find one room. A couple that you stumble in are just sleeping quarters. People sleeping on the floors. People really, they are in a condition of going towards being in a condition of bare necessities. So the people here aren't doing great. This is clear to you. You find the one room that is rather stocked with boxes with lots of vials, essentially. and vials and powders, almost like an apothecary's shop, you would say, and also flasks of what you assume to be wine or some other kind.
I will pocket what I think is of an alchemical
That's interesting.
nature. I will pocket what looks of alchemical nature, especially if they're of healing nature. But I leave most of it intact, as these are poor people. I do not want to steal from poor people. You do not deserve this, and so much weight to carry for so little value. And so, again, very sneakily, I would like to do an investigation only to see if there are traces of the Jean Gao that we're looking for.
Mhm.
Could he have passed through there? Do they have news? Can I?
So to do that, you're going to start have to speaking with people, though.
Okay, then
And
I
I
will.
will-
Then I will reach my friends outside, as I have seen that they're not too heavily armed inside. These are just poor people trying to defend themselves. I feel appeased at the amount of investigation I've done. There's no loot to loot, and there's no riches to be had, and there's no heavy danger to be faced, and therefore I shall go back to my companions.
Okay, super. So I think the most sensible way to do that, or rather the only way to do that without being seen,
Is
would be
sneak out.
to go back exactly the way you came, more or less. So you can do that without any problem.
Okay.
And at some point, when we're back to the scene of your companions, and Yesugen, the woman who has sort of interceded for you, is about to show you in, and Nilufer turns the corner of the building and is suddenly in sight. And everybody jumps, and they're like,
Oh, I'm not so frightening. You are having to do with these two big beasts of my mates. You're going to jump over the sight of a small woman, please.
I've never seen this woman in my life. I think
Strength
you
is
should
fine.
jump her.
Wait, I got a little lost. Are we still at the front of his caravan, or are we more inside?
You're going inside the building at this point, and as you're going inside the building, Nilufer shows up, and everybody is suddenly scared again.
Okay.
But
Nilufer, where were you?
Oh, here and there. You know, just doing what ladies do. Why do you ask? Also, who are your new friends? Salam, Shabekhair, my dear good friends. Do not worry, if we were thieves, we would be much richer, do you not think?
Don't listen to my good friend here. As I said, we are just traveling by. and
Exactly,
I-
if we were bandits, we would be much richer.
Okay. Please show us the way. We have. We have something that we like to discuss, but we are looking also for a place where to rest, where to drink, where to eat a bit. If we can provide you with something, please don't be shy to ask.
all right, so this is happening as you enter the building and go through the colonnade and into the main courtyard, where there also are some trees. It's shaded, and there is a well in the center. And the fact that, well, yes, there's not really much to steal here, even, and has kind of convinced the people inside. Folks are still looking at you rather wary, except for one very large man. Amarik, did you have a question?
Yes, when we get in, the sign of an attack and the sign of like people that have fought, are they clear? Like, do we see also wounded people? That's my question.
Yes.
So if we enter, I would like to ask the Mongolian lady, while we pass by, I would like to look around and tell her, you've got beaten up good, or it's my impression. You look like someone that lost a fight.
Well, so the things that you notice immediately is that, yes, there are some wounded. Most of the wounds don't seem to be particularly new, but some are in bad shape even. And could you roll a? Let's see, what could this be? I think either perception or investigation, probably.
Oof, I think I'm not great in both. Um, Perception, investigation. I would say I will stuck to perception. Intelligence is not my strong deal. Also, for everyone watching, rolling dice is not my great deal, and that's bad for playing D&D. But 11 is okay. 12 in total.
Okay, so 12 is enough to realize that there are signs of combat inside. You can't quite tell what happened, though. And Yesugen answered the woman who you were speaking to. She answers saying, well, I would say we lost several fights, in fact. Poor folks here got kicked around half the desert, if you ask me. We weren't as lucky as you, I suppose, to get through unscathed, and now we can't seem to be able to leave.
I wouldn't say that we went through unscathed. We also had our share amount of battles. Look at my friend here. He has also a bit of scars around. If you don't mind, can you remind me her name? Because I missed it. Can you repeat?
Yesugen.
Yes, you can.
Would you mind answer some question for us, Miss Yen?
Yes.
Yes. It's actually just one name. That's a first name.
Yes.
Yes,
you can.
sorry.
Yes, again.
Yeah, I
Yesu Yen.
Yes, again.
Okay.
exactly.
Yesu Yen.
And so as she is starting to speak, there is another booming voice who says, "Of course we will answer some questions." And a very large man, rather well dressed, kind of interjects himself between the two of you, and he says, "I am Shiramun, merchant of Karakorum. Welcome to the Flaming Tortoise. As you can see, it has seen better."
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
afraid we have not much to offer.
Sorry. Yes, Sin.
Better days.
Shiramun, it is an interesting name. Where do you hail from?
Karakorum, do you know it?
I know it.
Grand city. The Black City, they call it. You do know it. It's the place where towards you were going. And he goes forward saying, the place where the great Genghis Khan was held prisoner at one time. And you do know that this was true when Genghis was still was not the Khan yet. He was in fact prisoner there for some time.
Great knowledge, very interesting. And tell me, in the meantime, here, as you said, you've seen better days. What in the heavens has happened in the meantime? Azizam, you're not looking too well. Was it bandits or is it something more systemic?
And if I may interject, does it have something to do with a certain Shantao?
No, you may not. And also his name is Zhang Gao.
Shangao. Sorry, guys.
He is a monk. He had taken, how do you say, for many years a vow of silence. Now he has problems speaking. Who? And the other one, he is French. He does not even speak Mongolian.
Can I stomp her? Can I stomp her foot?
I am helping you. I am helping you. You absolute goat.
Yeah, I was out of game.
You're absolute goat. You do not mispronounce the names of our hosts. It is an insult. Poor Filippo. I am in character still.
I'm not.
So Shiramun is a bit confused by your exchange. He doesn't quite know how and what to answer. What can I say? We are trapped here. We have been hit. The bandits are everywhere, and a series of tales unfold. And it's not just the two of them who speak, but many people chip in. And the picture that you get is that as Nilufer has already surmised, these are people from multiple different merchant caravans. Shiramun was carrying precious woods, for example, in his rather well-armed caravan. Yesugen had a gift of not golden, but of, let's say, golden eagles between UN aristocrats. They were all traveling about, and in different ways they were hit by bandits. Most of their number perished, and the survivors ended up, because this place is well known as being the one-way station in this area, most of them came here, and they found it essentially deserted,
Ooh.
with signs of violence everywhere.
And so basically they're just hiding up in here because they're too scared to go elsewhere. They're just holed up here, right? The different merchant.
Yeah, and they've been holed up here. They've been holed up here. They've been trying to get out, but they know for a fact that some of the people who tried to get out have been attacked again and have come back with less survivors. And at this point, a tall man called Pu Xie, who comes from the Celestial Empire, and is very well dressed, looks more like a scholar than a merchant. He says, he has a very sort of dry voice, and he says, and then they began coming that night, out from the desert, from the rocks, and we do not know what to do. You will think us crazy for sure, but there is something out there, and at night they get close.
What are you talking about?
Wait, but especially, I have a very important question. You have nothing here that is of higher value. You have barely enough to feed yourselves. What on earth would bandits be looking for here?
It is true, he answers again, it is true, most of us have lost everything. I was lucky, in fact, to conserve my I do not know what they want. I do not know why we are here, but we cannot get out. And something is hunting us at night. Of this I am certain.
I'm not talking nor the merchant nor the scholar. I like Yesugen more. I get close to her and I say, woman, you don't look bad at fighting. What could have drive you here? Were the normal bandits? They were using some evilish magic, or they were just a lot? Depending on your answer, I can understand how much we can help here.
Sand and shadow, she says gravely. They were not all the same, almost a large army of bandits, I would think. And you know that there are quite a few bands, different bands in the area. You've seen them, but she mentioned specifically Sand and Shadow. And Nilufer, you know for a fact that there is a branch of the Karaunas called the Shadow Snakes, who it is said have learned to manipulate and mix sand with shadow, a trick that they say they learned from the spirits of the desert. A particular band of Karaunas is somehow responsible for the attacks. They are much more eastward, to the east, than they should be. And they do not move if there is not profit in sight. This you know.
After this, I mean, I think if they said sand shadows, I know these Oriental people are weird about their names and stuff, but I connect it with Nilofar. But I raise my voice like I am suddenly the one in charge here, and I said, okay, from my point of view, we have two choices: or we raid out and we break the siege, or we try to fortify this place and survive the night. Both cases, we and I point the three of us, we cannot do everything by ourselves. So we need every extra pair of arms. But you better decide what you want to do. I think that the night will be the most dangerous moment. I would fortify the place.
This
And
is the
that's
first time that I hear you saying that you are relying on other people, my friend. Is this a new expression of your humility finally finding a place into your head? So happy finally.
I'm not relying on you. I'm giving you orders. So if you want to fortify the place, I can guide you. If you want to break a siege, I can still guide you, but I will be less happy about it.
Oh,
But you
yes,
can decide.
Almaric, go and do your carpentry with our new friends. Zhao, you are a man of many wisdoms.
Yes, yes, I am.
You are very wise. Help me understand.
Sometimes.
Why do you think they do not know what they're sitting on? Because it is very clear, that they're looking for something in here. These are poor people. Perhaps something is hidden. You're a man of many wisdom. What does your wisdom tell you? What does your knowledge tell you?
And I turn towards the lady, the girl, the woman.
Yes.
Do you have any? Are you aware of the presence of any caves or any passages or any rock formation around here?
You've asked this to Yesugen, right?
Yes.
Signals you to come with her, and she brings you all the way to one of the far rooms where there is a small window that looks towards the desert, and she points to this very large sort of cliff that is above the caravan palace where you're at. And you can barely make out some sort of crevices along the rock. And she points to those.
Have you investigated that area?
No, I have not. I do not like the smell of the place.
Out of game, when we enter into the camp, did we see a well?
Yes, there is a well in the center of the courtyard. The whole building is built around the well, in fact.
You see that Zhao has started to think. You see that he starts the veins in his mind starts to get a bit thicker. We Nidofer here is correct. From what we can see around, you don't have anything that can attract bandits, but they are still coming. Either there's something out there that connects somewhere around here, or your well is connected to something below.
Why don't you go check,
Because-
Zhao, down the well?
Oh, I have no problem in dirty my vest compared to someone else. But I look at the Templar.
Okay. No, I meant because the well is full of water.
Almaric is full
Ah.
in carpenter mode. So I'm asking for the things to fortify the place. So I'm asking for woods, stone, everyone with nails, hammer, and wine.
Zhao, my friend, I think there is a religion in around Jerusalem about a man who does these things, but we do not follow it here. Let me go check between the caves there that they've indicated. Can I go and investigate, dear voice in the sky, Dungeon Master?
Yes, of course. So if I understand correctly, Nidofer's plan is to go towards the cliff and investigate these caves.
Wait a second, because so Caroline just reminded me of something, and after that I go very pompous towards the well. How much water is in the well? Because
Not
I
how
was
deep
thinking,
it is, how much water is in the well.
I thought, okay, maybe it's a low well, but how much deep is the well? I mean, how much water inside?
Oh, it's a pretty deep well. It goes down quite a bit. You would have to like get into a bit of a how do you say, a bit of a
I mean, I look at him. It's not a problem. You are a fish after all, no, my friend.
No.
Aziz, you are a
I
fish because you are kind
I-
because you are a fish.
I, I take her on the shoulder. Actually, I take her on the side and I place her in front of the well. I say, "I go to the mountain, please. Check on the well. Switch place."
Oh, well, I never say no to a chance to clean myself once again. All this sand has me quite irritated. Hub, I investigate the well.
And I go to the mountain.
Voice of the sky, what do I see in this well? I throw an investigation.
Okay, so let's
Sì, vabbè, ma someone is cheating.
Ho rotto il gioco. Oh, wait.
Was that another critical?
Yes, also because they're not seeing the... Because I didn't change the... Sorry. Yes, that was another crit
Okay.
on investigation.
So you reach the bottom of the well. I actually have no idea how this bottom of the well would be realistically built. I don't know. Now I'm very interested in finding out. But for our purposes today, you sort of go down the shaft, and there is a bit of almost little opening with the water down below that you can. Did you go actually into the water?
I would like to rappel down the rope that I assume holds some sort of bucket to raise the water and check if there are, side passages or something.
Okay. So you go all the way down and you get down to the water. It's wet. It is water. It seems still pretty fresh. It's a very good well. So you hear, you're not even sure this really happens, but you hear there aren't any other passages, you're sure. I mean, if there are passages, you have to go underwater, but nothing seems out of place. And you hear a very, very faint, like, ooh,
Do I hear this in the wind or in the vibrations of the rocks of the well?
So you think if you hadn't critted, you wouldn't have heard it, essentially. So, what I mean to say is that there is something almost supernatural in this thing that you are perceiving, you think. You're not really even sure if, let's say, a normal person would be able to hear it.
Is it something that belongs to the well or not? Is it intrinsically connected to the well or just a place?
No, it kind of echoes all around you.
All around me. So, well, here...
It does seem to be coming from the water.
It does seem to be coming from the water. Nosedive. Let's go. Do a cannonball. No, not a cannonball, but very, very elegantly with almost no splash. She dives in.
Okay.
8.9.
And
Thank you.
The way I'm imagining it is that the well goes down straight and then they're high, so you're kind of like just barely have your head above the water while you're doing this. And now that you can hear it, now that you've heard it, you recognize it, this whine becomes more and more perceivable and more distinct. And it's almost words, and you hear, "Oh, poor Ju Chong. For I am so thirsty." And you see what looks like almost it's a leaf. It's a very large leaf. You don't from one of the trees outside, and on the leaf, floating in the well, there seems to be a very, very small figure, a very small person, and the wine comes from this little person. What do you do? It's sort of curled up like this, curled up in a ball. Its hand between its head, and it just says, "I'm so thirsty."
So I very delicately pick it up, as in pulling the water with a leaf on it.
Ooh, what is Chu-Chang, poor Chu-Chang, what is happening to me?
Oh,
Oh.
my. Why are you so tiny? And between myself, I say, I wonder how much she's worth. How could you be thirsty? You are surrounded by water as is here.
No,
And I
water, no.
no water. What do you need?
Oh, wine, Quaves, delicious wine. Delicious wine, water is useless.
Uh,
Plum wine
I think you're
and
friends.
saffron wine.
I think you're friends with a Frenchman. I think. Would you be able to stand very still on my, or sit, or sleep, or curl very still?
Sorry, I see something happening on the stream. Yeah, so this little tiny person who isn't quite human but looks kind of like a human
Fairy-ish.
is yeah, if you wouldn't think necessarily in those terms,
Yeah.
but yeah, fairy-ish kind of. He just goes on and says no water can quench my thirst. I need plum wine and saffron wine and the juice of the grape made into wine. Oh, how I long for something delicious.
Yes, I think you would be very good friend with my French friend up there. Are you able to stand or curl up very still on my shoulder while I bring you up? Because, my friend, there is no wine here.
Oh, but you, Chong, I do not know you. I do not want to go up. The sun. I do not want to be with people, the humans, the people. I do not want to see them. Chu Chong is safe here.
Junam, but it is nighttime, there is no sun, and you want me to go back up and bring you. So I ravage through my pockets and I try to find a little flask of something that I probably slipped out of the Frenchman's bag anyway.
So you know something? You did mention that you took something from the room you went in.
Yes, I did.
And there were vials. We could imagine that one of these is
I
either
prefer
some
to
kind
have
of
stolen it from the French rather than from these poor people. Quite
All right.
frankly.
So suddenly,
Why?
Amalric, you realize that your flask is gone.
Oh, mon Dieu!
Pourquoi?
Parbleu!
Parbleu. It's
Oh,
not a
You
baguette.
give a little bit of.
Tell me.
So he takes the flask, which is bigger than him, and goes. Oh, it was delicious. It was delicious. Can I have more?
My little friend Junam, where do you fit all of this liquid? You're a very expensive friend, you know.
My stream is hating me completely.
It is. So,
It's
Ian, why don't you do something? Why don't you turn off your camera so that at least you're only going with audio, and we will have
dokie.
this invisible voice in the sky narrating voice, and that should
So
be
I need to
easier on your stream.
I need to
Also,
do
I
like
suggest you
this.
turn off
Okay.
Roll20 until we do Ars Mercatoria.
Okay.
Or you could use Roll20 from
Um,
your phone. Or a different device. He's still clipping. We can't hear you, Ian.
I'm very sorry. This is the worst I have ever have of any connection.
Fact, because we've
Yeah.
already been in live together and this had not happened. So allow me to entertain the public a little bit while we take a small break, since this is going to be a very short roleplay session, in fact, because it's only going to be 2 hours of playing. But since Ian is a friend, I really like the game. I also love to stay a little bit more than the 2 hours prescribed and chat, first of all, with you guys, with my community, with my friends who are here. Guys, how are you liking the game so far? My fellow players, how are you liking the game so far?
I really like it. It's so weird as a setting, and I'm loving the historical accuracy of it, even though it's a bit of fantasy. Because actually, I could have had some experience, unfortunately not yet, with the Gobi Desert because it's a huge and famous paleontological website. So
Website.
I know a bit of Mongolian things because I grew up reading stuff about the Gobi. So and I'm finding again of things that I read about and see pictures from. So I'm very excited.
From the chat, they're saying that the setting is extremely charming and that it's giving them so many ideas. Super charming. Charming is the word that they're giving around. I really like it.
I must say that the setting is incredible, but I am afraid, not afraid, but I feel for every master that will try to get really into it and get all the names right of the poor NPCs.
I'm already
difficult.
suffering
And
from
I
it.
am so happy that I chose the only character that in lore doesn't have to remember any name or pronounce it correctly. But I can already feel DMs that masters that really wants to be real and suffering with the right pronunciation, putting the right tone, giving the right nationality, the correct name, because it's not easy at all.
It's not.
No, I already failed as always. So.
I
I
have.
wrote things down. That is the
I'm
only
writing
Me
things down.
too.
I'm
And
writing
still I
things down.
fucked up.
It's difficult.
I love the description of the setting. Reminds me a lot of a specific era in the Gobi Desert called the Flaming Cliff. That is where the majority of paleontological discovery has been done in the 70s. It's like one of the most imaginative and famous places in paleontology. It's a place where I really want to go, the Flaming Cliffs. It's a really famous place in the Gobi.
When you said we were in the Gobi Desert, I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, be back here.
You know, Ian, usually when we start playing, we always say, let's never have characters that are like, you know, at odds with each other. Rather, we want to have characters that are friendly with each other. This time we went full blown.
Very opposite directions.
But you know what? It's that kind of camaraderie. It's that kind of, you know, making fun of each other that comes, I think, with the camaraderie. And
we are not against each other.
We're not
We're
against
just
it, but
supporting each other like buddies.
Exactly. It's like exactly. It's
And maybe did I have the first character that people don't hate?
Exactly. Now they hate the French. I mean, we had to bring a French character for you to not be.
This poor little thing has guzzled down the whole flask and then puts it down and says, "Oh, I want more."
Junam,
Give me more,
you're a very
please.
expensive friend, Junam.
Please give me more. And he does like this with his hand. He moves his little hand towards you.
And what do I get in return, Junam?
Oh, Chujong knows many secrets. What do you need? What do you want?
Azizam, I am looking for a very important and rare relic that was stolen.
Rare relic? Is it? Can one drink it?
No. Unfortunately, no. Otherwise, I would give it to you, my friend. But some man, Zhang Gao, he has stolen this relic from, you know, his martial sect, and I am looking for it. But maybe it is hidden here. I do not know.
I do not know this name, but people are all the same to Chujong.
True.
I do not see the difference.
You know what?
But
People are
there
all the
are
same to
bad
Nilofar as
things
well.
here.
But you were saying?
Yes. I know bad things. There are bad things that live here. Perhaps they know where your friend is.
Oh, tell me about the bad things, Junam. And I bring you more wine after you tell me about the bad things.
Ooh, Chuchong cannot speak anymore. Chuchong is too thirsty. Chuchong,
Can I try? Can I do an Ars Mercatoria here to try to get information before the wine? Or should I wait for my friends because we need the 3 points?
actually, you definitely could do it. It is you can do it alone too. The fact of doing it with your companions lets them use their special abilities, though, which can be quite relevant.
Useful.
I would ask you to. Okay.
while they are making stuff, just to tell you that Ars Mercatoria is one of the new mechanics in the manual that will cover mostly I would say, the diplomatic marketing exchange that usually is very stagnant in D&D.
Correct.
So you'll find it very interesting. What did he say?
He gives you your hand, the hand, and says, "Oh, can I come with you then?"
Yes, yes, my friend. Your pocket size very comfortable to bring, not like those two noisy big ones that I have to bring with me. Not easy to sneak with them.
Can become even smaller, even smaller.
Quite a talent, quite a talent. But so much wine for such a small figure. I'm still mystified. Aziz, come with me, and I put him on my shoulder.
In fact, you realize that the creature's name, Chuchong, means something like wine problem.
Oh, really? In the meantime, I've been calling him Junam, which is like my lovely, my friend, it's something cute in Persian. So I like the idea that I'm calling him Junam, and his name is Jujong, and he's understanding his own name, as I say, because he's a bit.
Yes.
And I think it's I like this gag. And so, do I have to throw something to climb back up, or is the rope solid
No,
enough
you can just climb back up, and he sort of nestles in your the cowl of your dress, so he's kind of almost invisible. Okay. In the meantime, what happened outside?
I am convincing, since apparently people seems to want to stay here, I'm asking around to people to help me fortify the place in case we are attacked. I suppose at the moment I am arguing with the merchant, with Shiramun, because I would like to use his expensive wood to build up barricades.
Okay. So Shiramun says,
I'm giving instruction to the people around me in French, of course.
okay. Somehow people understand more the body language, perhaps, or the grunts that accompany the words. I don't know, but Shiramun is saying, "My beautiful, these planks come from all the way from the probably the Mediterranean even. How you do? These are for the Hall of the Khan. These are for precious woodwork."
Je ne parle pas votre idiome. Legno, wood, protection. And I am trying to convince him in any way, but at the same time, while I play them, I'm looking around. I want to be sure that everyone inside here is on my side, in a sense. Is people here actually willing to help, or I see someone that is rowing against the flow? Oh no, we lost my master.
Voice in
I'm
the
sorry.
sky.
I got
You're
I
back.
got to the voice in the sky as I don't know. He has had to also, like the poor Ju Chong. He is lost in the wilderness of the ether and cannot find his way.
Lost
I'm
in the wine.
exactly. Oh, that would be fun. So,
You're starting to look like. No, I can't say this. Never
so
mind.
what
I
was
am
Amérique trying to do?
I'm
Sorry.
trying. I really want to make the place easier to protect, but this thing of the woods and like asking people to help is actually, I want to be sure that everyone inside with us is on our same boat. So while I ask people to help, I want to be sure that everyone is helping. I want to notice if there is someone that could be a bandit in disguise, or someone that is rowing against us, just to be sure that no one is going to backstab us in the worst moment.
Okay. Could you roll insight, please?
Yes. And will. Oof. A smart plan with a poor things, but I have a +5, so it's a 9. But still,
It's a 9. So I think, unfortunately, it's everybody seems to be rather on board with your plan, and they are chipping in. Partially, they were already working in this direction, and your direction bolsters them further. Um, even Shiramun's sort of observations seem only half, um, not really heartfelt. And so, in short time, you are putting the precious woods to work, and you are barricading all the places where maybe some previous blockade had come loose, etc. And if anything, though, the spirit is a bit better than when you first came in, because if you do look quite competent and very large, so both these things are appreciated.
Okay, did they bring me, apart from the wood, did they bring me also some wine? Because that was between the materials I required.
So they do bring you a small flask of wine. Yes.
How small?
Well, it's a little flask.
Okay, then I will take it and save it for later. And I call Zhao. Zhao, where is Nilofar?
I'm not there. I'm going to the
And,
mountain.
oh no, I'm alone. I'm lost. Okay, well
and
then I
and
keep.
and moving over to Zhao, what? So you trek up towards the hill.
Mhm.
What are you looking for?
For that opening, for that cave from this stench was coming from, that the girl told me.
Very good, very good. Could you roll for with sorry with blah, 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 blah. Could you roll survive depending on what you're
Perception.
So 15 perception. The
Yes.
first thing that you notice as you get closer to the cliff is that on the top of the cliff there actually seems to at least have been some kind of a building once. You can almost make out the the outline of what might have been the top of a temple or a castle. Hard to tell from down here, but you notice it's 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 um, it's um, it's a ruin for sure, but you can see that there is some kind of man-made construction up on top. And the other thing that you find is you do find some of these cracks in the rock. And in fact, when you move around slightly around the cliff towards um, the drop that sort of goes down quite a ways into the desertic plateau, so you actually realize that there are several openings along this rock cliff. Getting to them would be very challenging, though, and they are very small. You let's say you're now in front of one. You found one. There is in fact a rather disgusting odor that comes from it, and you would need to really squeeze yourself to get through. And you're not sure that Amalric could do it.
Does this smell reminds me of something?
Oh, what a nice question. Could you give me a Arcana check?
Ooh, I have +0. 8. I know nothing.
It smells bad.
Wow. Ugh.
It reminds you of rot, maybe rot.
Okay, so it's difficult to go through the fissures.
Yes.
I won't go alone because if I get stuck, I'm stuck. But before going back to the caravan, actually the caravanserai, I'll try to hike up and go to the temple. So I flex my muscles and I start.
All right. Which you manage to find, so you don't have to climb too much. And using your lightness kung fu of the monk, you can go up quite easily. And yeah, in fact, on the top of the hill of this cliff is a rather level space with what looks like you sort of find yourself inside another courtyard around which there seems to have been a wall and some kind of a temple. It's completely destroyed. You can
Mhm.
only really make out a couple columns, perhaps, and one rooftop that was the one you saw from down below. There's debris everywhere, etc. But it's a completely unkept ruin of hard to say yet. But what do you want to do while you're here?
Two things. The first one, trying to understand who lived here, if there are any religious sign on some partial of the wall that are still up, or if there is something inscripted on the floor, maybe some specific set of different set of stones. And second one, if there are objects that can be ritualistic in nature.
Okay. So because I'm going to ask you to roll investigate to perform this action, and because of the very specific description you gave me, I'd say you should roll with advantage.
I have a +0, so 2 and
So you move around the debris, and sort of you find yourself getting confused, more or less, because as you're moving things, a little rock column collapses, and suddenly there is more debris than there was before, and it's not not a very efficient investigation. You are sure of that, and you don't find anything.
how long did it take me to arrive here from the caravanserai?
You've probably been away for about an hour now, at least.
Okay, before going back, I'll sit down on this temple with the valley in front of me. I take out my herbalist kit. I'm gonna pour me some tea before going back, because I need a little time to relax after this complete failure.
Okay. So you are up there sipping your tea, and you hear a small, like a rock of rocks tumbling from behind you.
Okay.
And behind you, when you turn, you see kind of on the very far side of this little plateau, not little plateau, this little outcrop, you see a man sitting cross-legged like you with a cup of tea. He raises the cup of tea.
I raised 2. Join me, my friend. What are you doing here? Let's have a cup of tea together.
So he smiles and disappears.
I turn myself around and I slowly get up, but still with a cup of tea in my hand, and I start to drink slowly and walk towards the direction where I saw this person.
Okay, you reach it. It's really not very far. It's only it takes a couple seconds to walk over, and there is nothing. No trace, no tracks, nothing.
And nothing, there are no signs inscripted on the walls, nothing.
Actually, right by where he was sitting, you sort of kick away a piece. There's a symbol on the floor. You need to kind of dust it a little bit. And the symbol that you see on the floor, you recognize immediately. It is the symbol of the Thunder Tigers, the sect from which Shangao stole the artifact. What do you do?
I finish my tea and I go back to the caravanserai. So I climb down, and if nothing happens, I'll go back.
Nilufer and Amalric, what has happened? So, the actions you've been up to, Amalric has been busy for a little while. Nilufer, once you're up, what do? You see there's a lot of work happening in the caravanserai. There are people running about carrying wood, carrying nails, etc., working. You hear Amalric's voice booming. What do you do?
I am actually looking for the monk. I keep my new little friend into my cape, and I go and actually I try to go and grab some wine from the storage that we saw before, because now I finished the Frenchman's wine, and you know how he's gonna get if I don't give him a substitute. And also I think that the little guy is also gonna get a bit iffy if I don't give him more. So yes, it's time to refurbish my arsenal of liqueurs.
Amalric?
Do I see Nilofar coming back?
I would say so. She has to climb kind of soaking wet out of the well, so it's hard to miss her.
So when I'm like helping around doing carpenter stuff, if I see her, I shout at you, Nilo River, I need to speak with you. Come here 1 second.
Surely he is not speaking to me, Azizam. He is saying a name I do not recognize.
There is something is thrown in your general direction while I'm carpenting.
Are you a Monty Python character? What is this? My dear Frenchman, Chettori Khubi, how are you? Is your work doing well? Carpentry, very elevated for a Templar, yes? Who?
Yeah, very good. Listen, I was talking to the people here. They are saying something about shadows and your menagerie thing. Do you think we should start fires? Do you think it should help if they are doing something with shadows in case they come, or do you think it's useful or not? We have wood to burn.
I do not think it is useful because they managed that there is another branch of those who come from my lands. I do not want to explain into too much detail. However, they can summon the darkness with sand. Rather than fire and light, you should avoid for sand to come in. Barricade.
I don't know if you notice we are in a I don't know if you notice we are in a fucking desert, but okay.
That is
any
why
tips?
that is why I'm telling you, barricade the place from external influences. A closed space will save you more than a light in an open one.
Can we retreat in an inside place in case it's needed?
I saw the monk, the Xiaoming, the one who has many wise things. I saw him go into those caves, and he has not come back for some time. Do you think we should go look for him? You never know, there are bandits out here.
I finish my work here. You go. And by the way, everyone
why don't you metagame a little bit today, Almaric? Can you come with me to see our friends so we can do the fucking Ars Mercatoria?
Okay. I give the last indication to the people around me, and I follow Nilofar to pick up the monk.
Thank you, my friend. It's very good. Azizam, it's so good to have you with me. I pat you on the back. Little light today on those pockets, but I have something to pick up your mood. And I pass him one of the flasks of wine that I got from the storage.
Oh,
you seem to have misplaced your flask. How could that happen? Thank God your friend Nilofar is bringing you replacement, huh?
Was the water of the well poisoned? Why are you so friendly?
No, I just think that among so many enemies, we need to remind ourselves who our allies are, if not friends.
Okay. I must say, as a woman, you could be extraordinary ugly, but as a friend, you are quite decent.
Jesus Christ, that was so gratuitously evil. Wow.
Okay. Can I go back to Zhao
Yes, let's go back to the monk. Okay. Let's go back to the monk. Yes.
So
Kedarsuk.
Just fast forwarding very briefly, one thing. So Amalric, it is difficult. So there isn't like an internal space here because the internal space is the courtyard.
Are baba.
Couple rooms of the larger rooms that are extra fortified. You could create sort of a couple of rooms that are extra, to perhaps the wounded or people who cannot fight could hide. That is definitely possible, and an idea that everybody appreciates, I think.
So I imagine that after a bit I arrive.
Yes.
I arrive and I see my two friends in this place. Have you found something in the well, my friend?
Yes, about that, Azizam. I do not think I should talk of this in front of such a large audience. Come with me, it's in private. I look at them like Ambarabachi Chikoko, right? And I think, if I ask Almaric to look into my hood, into the cape, he's going to think he is very drunk. Zhao Yun, you're a man of many wisdoms. May I ask you to look into the hood of my cape? I think we have added a fourth member of our group.
Am I allowed to touch?
Yes, go. I know you're not used to touching women for a long time, but hey, here, there's nothing weird about it, my friend.
I open the wood.
Are.
You and tries to hide.
Oh, what is this cute thing?
It is.
Hello there, my little friend.
He's not
Why
a
do
thing,
you
he's a
talk to
friend.
Chong like a child? I am a Chong. Who are
Oh.
you?
Oh, I beg my pardon. My name is Zhao Xing. Who are you?
Have you brought me wine?
Yes. Yes, in fact, yes. Amari, give me some of the wine that you just get.
I just got it. Also,
Yeah.
what's the name of the little
Chu Chong is his name.
I do understand that it means wine problem. Now, I just suppose that the words are not new to me. Someone called me wine problem while traveling around
Definitely
China.
a little arcana.
So I can
Yes.
relate to the little creature. I ask, can I instead roll to understand what is it?
Yes, arcana, please.
Oof. Three.
3. It is a very small man who likes to drink wine.
Tamal.
Oh, le petit homme.
You are truly a scholar of our times, my dear Almaric.
Getting a bit impatient, and so he says, You are very, very powerful people, I can see. So you can get me much wine for my help, no?
He can. Please give me some of your wine. You always tell us about the wonder about your home country where you have amazing wine. So
Wait. Before I lead to the little man, I look at the little man like, okay, but why should I give you my wine? Is it some use? I'm talking to Nilofar. Is this little person of some use to us? It can help us? Can you fight, little man?
Chu Chong knows many secrets. Chu Chong knows where people are.
Secrets are more for where I come from. Secrets are more deadly than weapons, my friend Junam. So
where do you find Shushang?
You mean
The small.
mashallah, you got one right, my friend. Very good, mashallah.
So, Chu Chong at this point
Chu Chong.
would like to challenge you to the Ars Mercatoria.
Ah,
Okay.
His help does not come cheap. He is setting the price very high. He wants many flasks of delicious wine to aid you.
So my dear chat, what is going to happen now is something very deadly. Our Ars Mercatoria. Who of us shall go first? Almaric, I choose you, Pikachu.
Can I go? Can I go first? Can I go
Yes.
first?
You are welcome to Ghost, yes. So we go into a round structure of time, similar to combat. In each round, we both select a spokesperson. Chuchong is alone, so Chuchong will speak for himself, and Amalric now speaks for the group.
Should I choose my?
And Amalric, you need
Yes.
Chuchong has no master. Chuchong
Yes,
needs
so
no
you-
master.
exactly. So you may choose one of the four skills that you see in the Ars Mercatoria block.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to say that Juchong wants to speak about alcohol making, wine making, and the delicious process through which many wonderful things are created for drinking. So this, I'm going to say that the skill for that is nature. So
Okay.
we have persuasion, persuasion, deception, intimidate,
Intimidation.
and insight. Intimidation and insight. So I am not on roll 20, which means that I'm going to just let you. You're going to have to trust me that I am not cheating. I will not cheat.
I want
Chuchong
you
is
to
not
write
very
it down on a
smart. I'm
piece
just
of
gonna choose
paper
the
and
one that he
hold it
wants
up to the camera, Ian.
I will. That's a good idea.
I chose. It's. I'm ready to send it in the chat.
Okay, I use Sixth Sense. Wait,
That is.
I use Sixth Sense. That
We're
is
already.
that
Tell us.
is that when you choose, I can try to understand the what the enemy wants to do. So he has to reveal what he wanted to use and choose another one.
Okay. So
Okay.
Nature.
Okay.
and so
So
I am forced to do a different one, or do you just get to change it?
yeah,
No, you just have the
to
option to
reveal
change it
then you
because you
can...
know it. So you don't have
Yes,
to
so
change
you
it.
know-
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. So nature being
Nature
the
beat. I'm sorry.
doesn't give or concede
You
advantage.
nature beat.
Nature doesn't give or receive advantage. So it doesn't matter which one you
It
may
doesn't
choose.
matter which one I chose. Yes.
Exactly. You will not get advantage against nature.
Well.
That was a waste.
So the spokesperson, in this case, Amarich, can decide to keep or change his.
Yeah.
Thing.
In this case, I didn't. Even if I change, there is nothing better than what I already chose. So I will just go with mine. So we can just roll your natures versus my insight, I think.
Perfect. Okay. So we do a contested check. You roll and I roll. Oops. All right. What was I rolled 13.
14 plus 5, 19.
Mashallah.
Oh. Okay. Round is speaking about the technical qualities of many wonderful alcohol making processes, and you, this is how I'm interpreting, are able to very well understand that there is no sort of malice to this little creature, right?
Okay,
He
okay.
is genuinely just concerned about getting his wine. That's all he cares about. And you win, though you've understood something about it, so
If I can ask a
so we are one
question,
fulfilled for you.
if I can ask a question, what I'm really trying to understand is this little person going to die if we don't give her wine? So does it seem just it just like it, or does it need it? Do we have leverage in this in this next conversation?
That's interesting. So you have a feeling that he just really likes it. I think. we
Ah,
can
okay.
go
So
with
it's not dying if he doesn't get wine. Okay.
that. All right. Round 2. Who is the next spokesperson?
Go, Caroline.
I think you mean Nilufar, Azizam. Nilufar is ready, as per usual.
You know.
And yes.
Okay. Juchong.
Give me 1 second, though. I want to double check. Guys. I want
But
to.
you can use one of the other 4 skills that are on your sheet.
I know.
And Juchong has already chosen.
Chuchong has already chosen.
Caroline, I'm losing you? Or I
Yeah,
cannot.
I'm also losing Carolina.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay. So sorry. I should be okay though now. So I have written
Like you.
it down.
Okay. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Ooh,
All
same
right,
one.
you went.
Ooh, the same one.
Ah, the same.
I rolled deception versus deception.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I use my Ars Mercatoria ability? So
Please.
I would like to use mine that is called Trick of the Trade, and it allow me to give disadvantage to the enemy despite of the roll.
Ooh.
So you will still, and I would like to say is that the moment I'm there, I understanding this little man as no doesn't mean no arms. He's not trying to trick us, and this make me understand that I can just intimidate it a little bit and make it known, make him feel that I can squish him. So I want him distracted while he's
I think,
a little to feel a little spiciness while he's doing this role.
You are very big, mister. Juchong feels the pressure. Juchong feels the pressure, and he needs to roll because of your ability. He needs to roll with disadvantage in this case. So
But
I get to roll 2d20s and take the.
yeah. But also,
Caroline?
I'm trying to find my character sheet here, so I don't have to open it there. My deception has a fantastic. No, non lo gufo, non voglio gufarlo, non voglio gufarlo, non voglio gufarlo.
No,
Non
no,
voglio
no, please.
gufarlo, però io ho un più 4.
Eh,
Io ho un più 4 deception.
Yes, +4 you have.
So I rolled a 13.
I got a 12 total, which
Ooh.
means you win.
Ooh. Yeah, we have 2 points.
Okay.
Or Ju.
Okay, so now it's my turn.
To poor Juchong. What do you tell him? That is,
So yeah, I tell him, Juchong, however, you do not need the wine before you give us the information. If you give us the information, you allow us to come to our riches. Do you know how much wine we can share together, my friend? And he, because of the good wine that I gave him, is too drunk to see through my deception.
okay. Wonderful. Last round. Okay.
Yeah, I already chose.
Okay.
3,
2,
2,
1.
1, go.
Of course you
I
did.
promise that says intimidate.
yes.
Insight.
Insight and Intimidate do not have the matchup, and so there's no advantage or disadvantage.
All right. We've managed to always miss all the advantages, but Juchong popped.
No!
No, what did you roll? No, die.
Filippo,
What did you roll?
categorico.
Guys, I told you. Roll 20
Then I'm
as
gonna
my name on the algorithm.
Then I'm going
I
to use.
found-
I'm going to use my thing. I'm going to use my thing. Then, quick retort: when the spokesperson of the opposing faction has won the contest, because of course you're going to roll above a 1, and is about to score 1 negotiation point, Even if you aren't the spokesperson, you can make a charisma deception check with DC equal to the opposing spokesperson's check total. No advantage or disadvantage applies to this check. On a success, the opponent doesn't win the contest and score a negotiation point, but neither faction scores a point. At least we don't have Chuchong have it. So I'm going to roll my
Exactly.
deception.
No, wait, but he needs to roll his own
Yes,
first.
and I did it, and
Roll.
Juchong rolled a 7 minus 3. Oh no, sorry. In this case, no, it's not a minus 3. Sorry. It's
Okay, here's my question.
No, it's a crit
you have to
fail.
roll
It's,
above 9
it's
or
a
9
crit
or above.
fail.
Do you count one as a crit fail, or I can still add my stuff?
It's a crit fail. It's still D&D. I rolled a
It's
17.
Yeah.
Plus 4, so it's a 21.
Because at insight I have +7,
Oh, wow.
Wow,
but no.
it's a crit.
But your ruling was correct, Caroline, and so you can the Zhao Ying's roll was a failure, and you can though use your power if you want, which you've done successfully, I think, right?
Yep, I rolled a 17 plus 4, 21 total.
Right. So the way I see this is that Chuchong is actually puffing up and says, "Oh, you do not know what I can do to you. The things I can do to you, monk. I can slither into your ear and into which he probably can actually do because he's very tiny." And Zhao Ying gets a little bit flabbergasted by this, but then Niluf, oh, he's saying to the monk, "Oh, you do not know what I can do to you. I become small and I enter your ear and I move through your brain."
Azizam, there is no brain to move through there. You're going to get lost, my friend.
That is what Chuchong. Oh, Chuchong is very confused by this. I suppose I do not really know how humans are made.
Go on, our monk. Monk, do try again. I give him the very last turn because nobody scored a point here. We're still 2-0.
So,
Yeah.
but are we reroll?
No, you're not.
redoing the
No,
Ars Mercatoria then?
there is one
No,
new
no,
turn,
you-
but I'm allowing you to have the new turn. This is the 4th turn.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
What haven't I used?
But I cannot use insight anymore, right?
Exactly.
Correct. You cannot use any of the skills that have already been used during the Ars Mercatoria, which is the same for Juchong.
Uh, okay. No. Okay. Three, two. Wait. Are you there?
One.
Okay.
Yes,
Go.
I'm ready. Go.
Okay. Go.
Persuasion on my end.
Persuasion me too.
It's
We miss every advantage or disadvantage possible.
okay. So Juchong. So we just roll our skills.
Yep. Oh,
14. Now I do a good roll.
Watch Ian
Chuchong
crit.
has only. No, Chuchong has only rolled he's only made an 11 total. 9 plus 2.
Ooh, there you go. 3-0, not so
So-
expensive now, my friend. Tala robe de bia. Tala, your gold. Let's give it.
Actually one with the highest margin possible. So Juchong is going to say, "I see. Perhaps I can wait a bit longer. I can help you, and I will drink after. Okay?"
Very wise little man.
That is very gracious of you. You will have much wine later. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So now the little man is kind of placidly sitting down on Nilufer's shoulder and kind of looking at you. What happens next?
What does happen next? We ask him, so, my dear friend, Azizam, you were saying...
Caroli, non ti sentiamo.
Again? Ora pure?
Oi, adesso sì, ma sei arrivato estremamente in ritardo.
Okay, it picked up. So, Azizam, you were telling me in the well that you know many bad people, many bad things. Come on, let us help you. Tell us the bad things.
So he tells you a story, and what you gather from his story is that the caravanserai was attacked, and it was and it was essentially emptied of people. And he describes, to the best of his abilities, some of the humans that he saw. And the reason why you realize that he probably saw this Shangao is that he describes a symbol on his tunic. So he saw the man. As he went up towards the cliff, basically. He went
Okay.
away, he went up towards the cliff. Zhu Chong also says, but the other man stayed behind. The other man stayed here. The big man. The big man. The man with the wood. You know him.
Ah, this sexy man, he's been making fun of us.
Who, Yen?
No, Shamir, what is his name? Wait.
Ah, no, the other.
Yeah.
Shiramun.
Shiramun.
I described to the little man Shiramun, like I described
Bale
the man with the
Shiramun.
wood. Are you sure? He worked with he worked with that. He worked with him.
The other smaller man, the bad man, went. Yes, I saw it. Zhu Chong saw this. Zhu Chong does not lie. Zhu Chong is not capable of lying. Zhu Chong is too drunk.
I turn around to the others too. Why Shiramun would stay here?
I don't know, but I think it's something related to the fact of what I found on the cliff. On the cliff, there are some caves inside, some fissures from which a terrible stench comes out, and on top there is a not rotten, decayed temple, in which I found the symbol of the tiger. So something related to Shangao is there, I think.
May I throw an insight, Dungeon Master? Because I suspect that if he had taken a relic from his martial sect has something to do with tigers, I believe, Chongji, right? And
This is very correct.
he took a relic, and here there is a temple. May I roll an inspiration to surmise whether his entire intent was to steal the relic to bring it back to its rightful place, which is the temple that is now desecrated? Is that a fair assumption?
It's a good question. I mean, I think it's completely fair for Nilufer to think this.
I say this out loud to my comrades, and then I say, but I do not know. I am quite lost. This whole thing is odd. Shall we not go talk to our friend Shiramun? I do not like being lied to.
I agree, but with cautious. People here seems to like him, and if we just attack him, we could end up in a bigger inner fight. Let's try to handle things No, I'm joking. Let's get the bastard.
Azizam, this is just your.
I was
this
actually
is just,
getting a little worried there for you, my friend.
Azizam, this is just him
I'm too
speaking.
sober.
This is just him speaking because he is mad people do not like him. He tried and he failed as usual because he is French. Shiramon, my friend, as I leave them behind.
And
Shiramon is now kind of sitting. So you go to confront him then, is that right?
No.
Could we?
Yes.
I told the before going directly to him. I tell the other. Should we maybe tell the strong woman? Maybe we could tell her first, so we have someone that can fight to guard us back before talking to Shiramon.
Always thinking about women, that one.
No, but I think that is actually a pretty smart move. We should inform her, and maybe she's already aware of this, and maybe we have to fight two people instead of one.
Oh.
But at least everything will be on the table. It will be a fair fight.
Oh. Bale, Azizam. Let's go.
What?
Ballet, yes, ballet, yes. Even the formal one.
Okay.
I would say, Zhao, go and talk with Yezugen. You speak the same language. And me and Nilofire, take a look to the merchant to be sure he doesn't do any funky move while you are talking. Just tell her that he's a bad person and that if we get to the fight, she have to fight with us, not against us.
Bale.
Okay.
Bale.
I'll change a bit of the form, but we are almost there.
Bale.
So I go towards Jesugen.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Alright.
I find her,
You
Jesu.
you actually find her. You find her alone in one of the rooms, in one of the emptier rooms. It's not entirely clear what she was doing there.
What? Not clear what she's doing, and then you glitch.
Could you roll insight?
Oh yeah.
Nah, she's evil too.
Filippo,
No.
and dice.
9.
Vabbè.
The reaction suggests. What was the result?
He rolled a
9.
2. He rolled a 2.
Nine,
But he rolled a 2.
9 was not a bad exclamation in German. It was the number.
So you seem to startle her a second. She kind of goes, "Harry Monk, it has been a tiring day and the night approaches. How can I help you?"
I'm sorry if I interrupt you, but there are things of impellent importance that we need to discuss because my companions and I have our motivation to think that your companion Shuram is not what he says he's be. He's not what he tells to be.
The merchant of woods.
Yeah, he is actually. We have our motivation to think that he is associated with Shangao of the Tigers.
There is recognition here in the sense that these martial sects, like the one you belong to, are not properly secret necessarily in the world we're playing in, but they're also not known by everybody, right? But she seems to definitely recognize and understand what you're talking about. There's interest in her eyes now, and she says, "The tigers, you say?"
Yes.
Well, what will you do?
We are seeking something that was taken from by Shangao, and we need to collect all the clues we have in our possession. And from what we could understand from our source, is that Shangao seek escape towards the cliff, but Juram stayed here. So we need to inquire with him, but we are afraid that he's not gonna be friendly on that. So we might arrive to use a little bit of force to tell us a bit of stuff.
And how can I help you?
We just don't want to cause a ruckus in your established settlement.
She nods and says, well, settle down for the evening and we can move most of the people into the rooms that your brethren, the tall man from this place, Francia, has prepared. There will be less people around then, and perhaps it will be the right moment to confront Shiramun.
So we have to wait for you. Sorry, you glitched, so I lost the first part.
So she just suggests to wait till the people start to move towards the fortified location.
Okay.
And she will take care of them, she says, and let you do your business.
Okay. Insight check. Because on this last part, I don't know, it sounds weird to me. 12 total. Guys, 1, 2, and 5 on insight. My best skill.
Insight on the monk.
It's
Just to say.
pretty. You rolled 12 total.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she seems a little over eager.
In what sense?
Over eager and she even kind of did something weird with her mouth, like almost wetting her lips in a way that you found a bit disturbing.
I'm afraid we should take this thing on our own. So I agree that we should wait that everybody are secured, but then we prefer to encounter Juram on our own. What did you say? You glitched.
She just says, yes, yes, of course. Let me know. Okay. Let me know how I can help you, monk.
Just keep the people safe. And I turn towards and I go back to my colleagues.
Okay.
So, because you see that I'm thinking, I'm not sure what happened.
Did she flirt with you?
Sure. We have a go to confront Juram, but she asks to wait for all the people to be inside the fort, to be inside the caravanserai, to not cause too much problems around. However, she was a bit too much into trying to fix the problem herself, but something was off, and I told her that we will deal with him. But I don't know, something is not. She's not straightforward to me, and I don't like that. I definitely don't like that. So I suggest you to keep a good eye on her.
So I send you to find an ally, and now we have to go to keep a look on her. Well, it is what it is. Shall we talk with the guy?
Yep.
But we should wait.
Yes.
Not good.
Maybe this is the proper time to give Shushong some wine. He was so straightforward to us. He needs his reward.
Indeed.
Is the little man still with us? Like he's staying in Nilofar hood? Okay.
He's hiding in Nilofar's hood, yeah.
I'm going
I
to make him
gave
start paying rent, if he keeps this. But yes, for now, yes.
I make him I open the my little thing of wine and I have a sip, and then I give it to the to Shushang. But I also ask him, listen, little man, come out a moment, look around. Do you see something weird in the people here? And I give him the wine. I just want him to look around. Maybe his eye sees something that mine don't.
He looks around and he is very excited. And no, he says, "Oh, people, they all look rather similar to me."
Okay, very useful. Guys, whenever you want, I'm ready to throw some hands. Just give me the signal. In the meantime, I try to fetch some more wine. I will wait for you to give me the go.
As he says throw hands, since it's probably something that doesn't translate well in Mongolian as it's a figure of speech, I listen to him and I go like, do you understand the
does this
Nazism?
mean?
What is this madness? Nonsense. Can I throw a nature on the thing to know what it is? Because I'm super curious. Or anyway, you said Arcana.
Yes. What for? Sorry.
To know what Zhuzhong is.
You can roll if you want. I don't know. Someone tried it before, but
But
you
failed miserably. Okay, so I rolled a 17 plus 0, so 17.
Oh, well, 17. I mean, he is some kind of so he technically, lore-wise, he is a kind of spiritual creature,
Okay.
of which there are many different types, and as you have widely understood, he is associated with alcohol specifically. The connection that you made to perhaps the Western fairy, and I will say that in the terms of D&D, in terms of how we've translated this creature in D&D, he is technically a fairy, again,
Okay.
mechanic-wise. But you know that these creatures, you actually think that your interaction with Juchong up to now has been very fortunate, because you know that these little creatures can also touch, can poison people.
Ooh.
And they seem even to be able to make their way to sort of the stomach of someone unconscious and then control their actions.
Oh. Oh. Okay, super interesting. Super interesting. Okay, yeah, that's just out of curiosity. So, what were we doing? Almaric?
As you're thinking about this, Juchong says, Juchong is so thirsty again.
Okay, we just wait for the moment when most of the people are back, and if I see that Kuram is following the last people to go inside, I'm gonna go, Kuram, please come sit with us and let's have a drink before resting our tired bodies.
All right, so Shiramun comes over to you, and he says, and he says, Monk, I trust your adventures out and about have been successful.
It was. Do you want to sit? I can make some tea if you want.
That's it. It is time for guards and for rest. And I am not a fighter, as you can see, and he pats his rather large belly.
Yeah, but with tea we can come up with some nice discussion, because me and my colleagues here have a few questions that we really would like you to answer to us, because we might have found some interesting connection between you and your former employer, Mr. Shangao.
He blinks and he says, "I do not know who are you. Who you speak of? I've never heard the name."
I don't need to roll I don't need to roll inside to know that you are that you are lying, and I don't say that in game. I say, come on, Mr. Huram. We know that you have been
Obviously, expecting exactly this. I see Amarik with a hand up. What is?
While Zhao is telling this, I am like quite noticeably circumventing and trying to go behind Shiramun just to cut him out of the escape. So I'm not doing it stealthily. I'm just circling and moving around with my hand on my sword.
Like a shark.
As you
Yes.
see,
So
there's no reason for you to lie to us because we have our way to understand that of who you are. But as you can see, and as you said, you are not a fighter, you are not a warrior. We are, and we are free against one. We don't want to cause a problem here. So here, let's have a tea. Let's have a nice discussion, and let's
goes,
come up.
oh, he laughs heartily. So he raises his hands and makes a laughs heartily. He realizes that Amalric is circling. He goes, I do know what you speak of, my friend. And he does this, and then there's a knife coming at you, Zhao Ying.
Okay.
So I would like to deal with that we use in the game, which is um, um, a group scene. It is called in the quick start, where we essentially we can use this to use different ability rolls or specific kinds of actions in lieu of the structured turn by turn
Combat.
combat to these kind of action scenes in Marco Polo. So you
No,
see this knife coming towards you.
Okay. Sorry. Because you glitched, I didn't understand what I need to do.
That there's
Okay,
things that we
so-
can do in lieu instead of, doing a turn-based action combat. And so now Ian is going to tell you the types of things.
Correct. And so the first thing that happens is that Shira moves a knife towards you, and I want to know how you react to that. The knife is coming straight towards you. What do you do?
Did he throw it or is he like stabbing?
No, he's stabbing.
Stab-
He's lunging
Well-
towards you.
I was expecting a reaction from him because this is what usually people that have ill intention against me do during my tea celebration. They use the moment where they think I'm lowering my defense to attack. It's kind of my luring the attack towards me. So I try to take his hand and try to basically make a leverage on the elbow to make him lose the stand of the arm and put away the knife. It's a technique that we use in Aikido. I know Aikido is Japanese, but the principle are the same from all martial arts, basically.
Why don't you make an unarmed attack roll?
Oh, yeah. So. Unarmed attack, okay.
How much?
5 plus 6 plus 5, 11.
So unfortunately, much quicker than you thought, and you feel the blade cut into your elbow as you're trying to perform the move, and you take 3 points of damage.
Fine.
However, your two companions are essentially free to move, and I'd like to know, especially Amalric, who was positioned for the occasion. What do you do?
I am pretty sure nobody wants to kill him yet. So I would like to rage and like grab him. So I just want to be sure he doesn't go anywhere. Then the other two can decide how much arm to do, but I just go full bear hug and I stuck him there.
Okay, so why don't you roll try athletics? Let's do athletics.
Okay, so if I'm raging, I have advantage, but I suppose that 18 plus 5 will do the trick.
Success. And so what happens? You do exactly what you wanted to do. What happens?
I just grab him and slam it to the floor, and then I bring it up. But my main intent is just to keep him in there. Like, I don't want him to go away. If he stab me, if he try to, I don't care. He can try to hurt me.
No, so actually you weakness and ruthlessness, he probably really isn't a fighter, and you definitely feel something break, and he kind of whimpers and goes, oh, and then is kind of just limp in your arms, and you hear him moaning.
Okay, I think someone is much more collaborative now.
So now I go
now.
up very close to him with the knife. I was gonna go for the sneak attack kill, one less problem, but he has information. Information is useful. I go up to him with the knife to his neck, and I say, "My friend, I think you're going to be much more talkative now. So, what about your other friend, Azizam?"
So he clutches his arm, which was perhaps a broken arm. Never have listened to him, but he offered too much. You have to understand this. It was so much gold. And actually, probably it was so much banknotes, but this is a small historical delve that we don't need right now. Slightly, because we're really going towards the end. We are. He was a spy. He had come here with Shangao and had remained in, as you know, to keep an eye on what happened in the caravanserai. He also tells you that all this movement of bandits are men that, including the shadow snakes that we mentioned before, they are all paid
By the shadows next, I imagine.
by a large coffer of exactly. So after attacking the caravanserai and clearing it from the inhabitants, Shangao went up to the temple.
Ooh.
And he tells you, I can show you where the entrance is. I have the key. And he tries to reach into his pocket.
I stop him with the knife and I reach into the pocket for him. Can I throw you a sleight of hand?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. At 21.
Yeah. Basically, he's like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And you have it.
Yeah, just show us the door, my friend. Don't worry. Your arm hurts too much to use these keys.
He whimpers even more and says something like, I did. And he starts crying.
Less crying, more showing. Where's this door?
I think this is where I found that. It's in the temple, right?
What is left?
Next to a symbol written on the floor, right?
What is left of it?
Yeah. And I start
Yes,
to.
that is. He says that is the seal. That is the seal that the key unlocks.
Okay. You didn't really have to do for it, because it was going to end up exactly like this. Why did you even try, my friend?
He just whimpers.
All these things for a broken arm. Ah, for Christ's sake.
I use the key and I open the sigil.
So you go all the way up you go all the way up to the top of the hill.
Yep.
I make the way to the temple.
Nilufar's ideal is you live to seek out challenges and discoveries which call to you irresistibly. Chaotic. So yes, I'm going.
Okay, so, and I think this is probably our last
Good.
scene.
Yep.
You get to the top, and Nilüfer, you put this medallion against the seal, and the seal sort of shines bright and then blinks out, and you realize you see the outline of a door actually, and you hear a faint click. And you realize that there must be some way to open this now. Exactly, there's a bit of give, and you can rather easily peel it open. Rather easily, that's not true. You need to put your back on it. Maybe Amarik helps you. You pull the thing open, and below, you basically have. It's like you open the trap door into the ceiling of a room,
Oh.
and about 6 feet below you, you see floor. Look around downstairs. Because from around the edges of the little plateau where the temple was, you hear the sound of scampering feet while something climbs along the sides of the cliff towards you. And the sun is, of course, going down.
I close it quickly and I tell Almeric to sit on it. I think we're going to spend the night right here, my friends. Shab Beher, good night, Javi. Good night. And this is where we end. I always wish to end a session on nope, it's not happening.
Good night in all senses.
Because you had me at something was climbing the walls. That something is what no, the unsubscribe. Do you guys want to see what's inside? We can see what's inside if you want to. Nilufar is unsubscribing though. Like she does not want anything to do with it. You guys can go and check. That's not with me though. It's lagging. Let me remove.
I
the
could never
music.
go without you, Nilo. Yes.
Actually, you know what? For the flavor, just because we can, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to throw Chong and say, go and explore for us, you're a scout. Go, you're free now. And that's it.
I don't know about your characters. We would need to play another session, maybe without lag, to find out what actually happens to them.
That would be nice, actually.
I would
we
love
end
it.
we end in a pretty thorny situation. You did find the end.
We did find the entryways to the temple, which was good.
Exactly.
How I really liked the ambience, the system. The Ars Mercatoria is the coolest thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah, because it finally gives a sense to the. I got, for example, to the most simple one. Like I go to the merchant. Can I roll persuasion to make the price lower? It's a bit
Now,
of a bit more of
the
a
nicest
challenge.
thing about the Ars Mercatoria, in my opinion, is that it gives the whole party a part in the thing, not just the paladin goes and roll persuasion.
And
There is
and also gives
and there are
everyone
abilities to use not in your turn, so that's great for both roleplay and mechanics. It adds depth, and it adds situation within the party that can be used. That's a great system, to
And
be
on top
honest.
of
I
it,
think that alone is worth the manual.
And on top
Yeah.
of it, it's the fact that it forces the different characters to make choices that are in flavor with their class and their character. When I like it when the mechanics marry well the role playing, like the mathematical part pushes you to interpret the character well, and this really does it. And as Mick says, the fact that you can't use the same thing twice gives that much more movement and diversity in the different type of actions that you can do, that it makes it fun. So I agree with Mick completely. Phil.
But if you would agree, next time we play, let's just play with physical dice, please.
So I had to pin a comment because Ian, you're not seeing the live. I had to pin a comment because I've been laughing since they posted it, which is Nitan, as for usual. He says, "Is Filippo using a D10?"
I would say a D6. It covered the whole D6. It's what was covered by
Yeah.
Filippo Dice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's been pretty impressive.
Can I be honest with you, Filippo? I'm so happy I finally someone unluckier than me
But
in
anyway,
D&D.
consistently it has
You are you are my love match.
Yeah,
So
I'm
guys,
going towards
I would like the final comments from Ian because it's become a certain. Si è fatto una certa.
Yes.
I want the final
Yes.
comments from Ian. Guys, thank you so much for being with us. We end with 2,100 likes, 400 viewers from TikTok, and I think we had a peak of 30 something on Twitch because of Daniela's raid. However, we were consistently between 12 and 20 people. So thank you so much for joining us here. Very active chat. And now our guest of honor, Ian Hathaway.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I had a great time. I'm glad to hear that it seems you had fun too and appreciated some of the aspects of the system, particularly the things that we tried to do to, as you said, help and encourage players to interpret their character more and more efficiently, etc. and we've struggled through it. I appreciate your patience and that of all the people who followed us. I hope you got something out of the adventure
I
of
don't know if you know, Ian, this is when people that were in another live end the live and decide to take all of their followers that were following into someone else's channel, and so they're all coming and bringing their followers with them, and so
That's so exciting.
it's
Welcome,
something
welcome.
really nice that they're
It's
doing. Grazie
it's
Nat,
like the
grazie
bandits
Pop.
assaulting the caravan, basically, but
Exactly,
in a
Yeah.
good way.
but in the good way, you know, like they're your friends. They're
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
bringing more friends, and they're bringing like alcohol with them. Like it's a whole party.
Ooh, Chong will be excited.
Chuchak will be quite right. Dude, he is an expensive friend. I think that is the best comment one could possibly make to Chuchong because, damn, guy drinks. So,
So the Chong is actually a creature that comes from
folklore.
17th century, so a bit later novels that were written down collecting folklore stories, a very famous collection that we've used for some of our creatures. And I will say, Chong
He always clips in the best
favorite
part.
creature and that you would want to see in the book. So with Chong, I asked our Chinese consultant, what is the creature that you would absolutely like to see, your favorite? What do you want
Ooh.
us to put? And he said Chong.
Yeah,
So
it
this
was.
was this was
Can I say it was really cool? I really like those creatures that are
I
mischievous and you don't know whether they're going to fuck
I
you up or
imagine
help.
I imagined him as one of those little white spirit of the forest from Miyazaki movie.
Yeah.
I
uh-huh,
imagined it
yeah.
like that.
I imagined him though
Very
with
I
a
nice.
can
belly. I can't not imagine him with a belly though. Like
He
he's
must have a
yes.
bit of a beer belly,
he
right?
has to.
He must.
He has
I
to.
can imagine parties picking it up as a mascot in like the second shot of a campaign because it's impossible not to keep him.
So fun.
Yeah, but it will be bad for your party money.
It's a wine problem. You get rid of it with time and therapy. Like it takes
Ah,
a while.
the pot calling the kettle black. You're the one with the drinking problem, my friend.
Not true.
He was very French. I liked it. I really like your guys'
I
interpretation of
I
both of your
haven't been
characters.
I haven't been as French as I wanted. The only time I managed was when I could insult you. And
It's difficult to out insult a Persian. I have to say this. They're very quick witted. So I hope I gave them justice. I hope I did them justice. Also, I love Filippo's interpretation of the monk. I'm here for it. A wise Filippo. I'm here for it. And finally, you're not the
A
most
white
hated.
positive character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ian, it was lovely to have you. Guys, I'm going to give you once more the link to the quick starter because today's RPG campaign was to kick off the Kickstarter. And I can't wait to have that manual. Can I have it at Bologna Play? Are you going to bring it physically? Tell me.
And well, Bologna unfortunately is super early, so I Bologna won't be possible.
It looks incredible, guys. I had to ask specifically for the art that you're seeing now in the video, uh, because it was so gorgeous. I had to beg them and ask, can you please just pass me the art? Because I just want that going in loop in my stream because it is so gorgeous. I was over the moon knowing that I could use this for the campaign, and it's just so happy. It's just beautiful to see, and that I want that in my home. There's just there's some of the art is just incredible. So I can't wait to get it to play it once more. Hopefully with the same DM. Doesn't matter the language, we mix them all. Your final
Love to.
comments, Ian. I'm going to leave them to you and not me as a host. They're yours. They're all yours. Final comments.
Once again, thank you, Caroline. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to our wonderful Guardian merchants tonight. To everybody who watched us, and yeah, if you've enjoyed, check out the Kickstarter.
Yep. I sent the link, guys, in the
Pretty
chats.
cool.
Okay, there you go. Because you clicked again. So sorry. Then it feels like I'm interrupting you. I got the. I just sent the link to both the chats, both the Twitch and the TikTok now. So go and check it out because like I can't wait until I can get it. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Filippo. Go and see him at Dyson Dinosaur in Instagram and here on Twitch. Mixana, you can see him tomorrow night here as well. As for everyone else, thank you. Love you guys. Good night.